What's up, everyone? This is Dexion the Gamer, and I'm back today with the Gears of War E-Day multiplayer beta, and we're testing this out on our RTX 5090 with the 9800 X3D as the CPU. And I just got done watching Daniel Owen's video on YouTube about his tests on the 9800 X3D, same setup as mine basically, and the 5090. But his results were vastly different than what I'm seeing here. So I don't know if this is just a really light area to test, but let me just go over our settings right now. So let me just take off my overlay settings. We are graphics look pretty good so far, nothing crazy. Where am I? Okay, so all right, got brightness HDR off, borderless full screen. We're at 3840 by 2160, so that's 4K. VSync is off, cinematic ultra wide off, idle timeout, that doesn't matter. So I'm using DLSS, and the upscaling, sorry, that should have been at native. Upscaling is at native. Max FPS unlimited. Preset is ultra. That's what the game defaults to. So everything is on ultra right now, and we're going to let this run. And so we're getting 100 frames per second at 4K ultra preset. Let me just make sure, because this game is a little funny with the settings here. I noticed that already. Okay, yeah, so it's at native, so you don't confirm the settings, because I just wanted to make sure that when you set it, it's set. So yeah, everything is on ultra. And in the menus, you'll see 60 frames per second. It caps it at 60, and thank God, because some games don't cap it. So your GPU is just spinning up for no reason in the menu. So yeah, this is 4K native DLAA using preset K. And we're getting about 110 frames per second right now. And so I was supposed to duck there. Press Y to climb over walls. Okay, so Y is jump. That is really snappy. But then, so Daniel Owen was talking about how the setting that was really game breaking was the Ludicrous setting. Okay, so Y is jump. So let me switch it over to Ludicrous and see what changes here. So right now, you know, my 5090 is chilling. I'm at 59 Celsius temperature. GPU busy is 97%, so it's up there. It's not like it's glitching out or something. And power is 344 watts, and of course I am undervolted and overclocked. CPU is at 36%, so you know, it looks like it is doing a little something there. Temps look okay. Power is 71 watts, 74, 80 watts. That's pretty normal. All right, so I'm gonna escape here to settings, and I'm gonna switch this graphics settings over to Ludicrous. So Ludicrous is to see everything just kind of flipped right there, and it's all loading up. So that puts everything at the Ludicrous setting, and even the stuff down here, like let me just remove the overlay so you can see. Post-processing, all that stuff is on Ludicrous. Ray tracing, geometry, global illumination, Ludicrous. Volumetric fog, ray trace shadow, sunlight shadow, subsurface scattering, variable rate shading is on. Chromatic aberration is off, thank God. Animation quality is on Ludicrous. So let's put our overlay back on, and now I'm at 60 frames per second. So that means it locked it to 60. That's what I was talking about before. The settings are a little funny. Every time you do something, this 60 FPS lock wants to come back on. So, all right, so this is our actual frame rate at the Ludicrous setting. So it's 66, 67 frames per second. And that's not terrible. That's something you normally see in Unreal 5 engine games. All right, so we duck under with A. LB for TACCOM. And tactical information. Okay, so I got some weapons over here. I'll take this one. A long shot. I'm not a sniper, so I don't want that. I think I'll take the natural actually. That's too far away from me. Take this one. Oh, you gotta reload like you do in Star Wars Jedi. How do you? Okay, RB. Gotcha. So right button. Okay, that wasn't good enough. My timing is bonkers. Too soon. Come on.
I'm all out.
And we'll go back to the Nasher.
Done with that.
Totally missed it. I really suck at that.
Oh, I like
There
that
we go.
sound.
It's because it slows down once it gets to the middle, which is throwing me off. Alright. Okay, sorry, you can't be killed.
Taking fire!
So that's how you run between cover. Okay, so that's kind of like other game I played, I can't remember it. Alright, let's take a look at those reflections. And they look pretty good. Oh, yep, you can see the character in the reflection, so that is very, very nice. And they do not look noisy. Yeah, that looks pretty clean. The reflection of this tree right here. And yeah, this is the highest preset. Daniel Owen must have had some weird setting on, because this is nothing to the 5090, honestly. It looks like it's running really smooth. The frame time graph looks really, really smooth. I'm going to put it on DLSS quality. Just to see what that looks like. And hopefully, let's see, we're going to switch it from native to quality, and that frame rate should still be at unlimited. Okay, cool. And now we're still running at 70 frames per second, even though I switched it to quality. That's interesting. See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, the settings in this game are just weird. Let's get back to graphics section, reset setting. Okay, and balanced, it looks the same. It did not do anything, so that is very, very weird. Yeah, something's not right here. It's like DLSS is not doing anything, even if I change it to ultra performance. Let me see if that does anything. No, and the CPU is at 26%, 32, 26. That's I'm not, assuming that's not really doing anything. Oh, you know what? I think I know why. Let me check out something on my NVIDIA app really quickly here. Let me just make sure I don't have a global override setting for super resolution here. Okay, preset K. Everything is okay. Yeah, see, I'm using 54%. Okay. Wow. Okay, so that is no bueno. So let's restart the game again. Okay. Okay, so we are back. I just reloaded the game here and checking up on our settings. Let's see. It always likes to go back to max FPS 60. All right, let's go to native. And there we go. Okay, we are getting that cinematic experience now at 32 frames per second, 31. And this is with me recording, so it's probably getting about 33, 34. And now GPU power is at 493. Yep, just touching 500 watts. Game does look really nice. It's just a bit sharper than what it was when I was using, I guess I should call that Performance Plus, which it honestly looks really, really good. So yeah, this is the Ludicrous setting. So yeah, we are getting, so I'm sorry, Daniel was not doing anything wrong. It was me. I figured out the problem though. I mean, the joys of PC gaming, where you're always messing with your settings. You know, some games can pull off the 30 frames per second thing, but VRR breaking is definitely a problem. So I guess what we'll do is we'll start going up the scaling. Yeah, see now I'm hitting 70 Celsius because I'm using more energy now. So that's pretty normal. So, I mean, this is not game breaking. I would not say that this is next gen. It looks really, really good. I will say that. This looks like photographic to the max. Like I can see the next Red Dead Redemption game looking like this, and like this is a saloon or something. But anyway, let's play with the upscaling. So we're at 33 frames per second, and let's go to graphics. Let's go to DLSS quality, and that frame rate should stay unlimited. Great. Everything is still on the Ludicrous setting. Okay, that's all you really needed to get really decent frame rates. So now we're at 55, 56, which is great. I was not expecting that big of a jump. And these chain link fences look really, really good in motion. That's something that you really, really want to make sure of when you're doing your upscaling. And just one thing, just one thing, I have to say this. Unreal Engine 5, well, I'll just say this. DLSS 4.5 is not good. NVIDIA has to fix it. DLSS 4.5 has horrible shimmering on foliage, on grass, on hair. As you can see, preset K does all that really well. You just might have some ghosting here and there, which I really can't see right now. But as I'm in motion, as you can see, the grass looks really good. And if you guys looked at my old videos of Black Myth Wukong and I tested preset M from DLSS 4.5, I couldn't deal with the flickering. The flickering on the trees in Black Myth Wukong were terrible. Even on Spider-Man 2, on the hair, it was terrible. I can't deal with it. And preset L cleans that up a little bit, but then it's so heavy that, you know, it's really hard to run as well. So I've been sticking with preset K through all of my personal gaming at 54% upscaling ratio, which is like performance plus, I want to call it. And I've just been loving it. You do get a little bit softer on DLSS 4.0 as you get closer to performance, but I'll take that over the shimmering. I can't deal with the shimmering. That's way too distracting. Anyway, let's go back to settings, and we're going to now use DLSS balanced. Come on, there we go. Put our overlay back on. Okay, so DLSS balanced takes it closer to 60 frames per second. Let me just make sure that went active because I hit the Q button. Yeah, okay, so balanced. That'll take you up to about 60 frames per second. And this honestly looks just as good as quality. And at 60 frames, yeah, you see this chain link fence still looks really good. Everything still looking really, really good here as it did on the quality setting. And you see those reflections. That's another thing that DLSS 4.5 just cannot do good at all. These are what you call specular reflections. Reflections that reflect off of metallic surfaces. You see, it's a little teeny wincy bit smeary, but it's not distracting. You won't even notice it unless you have eyes like me that are just trying to see it. But it's not bad at all as I get a little bit closer. But I promise you, if this was on DLSS 4.5, it would be sparkling like it were diamonds or something. That's another thing. Even on God of War Ragnarok, I noticed that the game has no ray tracing at all, and you're still going to get sparkling effects on DLSS 4.5. I just don't use it at all. I just don't use it at all. All right. So let's go back in here. Climb up. So yeah, we're getting like 50 frames per second now. And I guess if I really, really wanted to, I can... Let me see. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's go to graphics. I didn't see frame generation here. So maybe the game does not use frame gen yet. Let's see. Let me turn controls, graphics, interface. Yeah, nothing about frame gen there. So yeah, graphics. Upscaling and frame gen is disabled. Why is it disabled? Disabled for beta. Okay. Sets the amount of frame interpolation. Okay, that's fine. Frame generation is disabled. So I guess what I would do if you're not using frame generation is I would just use balance or performance. As you can see, it's a little bit softer. You can even see it in the screen just still here. This is native, so that's just 4K native. And if you take it to performance, it's just a tiny bit softer. But that tiny bit softer is fine for me because it still looks really, really good. And now you're getting over 60 frames per second. And let's take a look at those reflections to see if they still look pretty decent. And the game still looks really good. It still looks really, really good. DLSS 4.0 performance is still a blockbuster. Don't sleep on it. So yeah, you see? And that reflection still looks top notch. Yeah, everything is coming out really good. And I honestly have no complaints. This still looks really, really good to me. It looks super sharp. So I'm going to complete this training session on performance mode, and I'm just going to keep it here. I'm getting 70 frames per second now, and I can't complain about that. Usually at this point, I would just use DLSS frame gen at the performance or performance plus setting at 2x and just lock it at 120, and I'm good to go. So yeah, you don't need to have the 5080 should be able to do this too, but you will need to use frame gen. And on a 5080, you're probably going to only receive about 40 frames per second, 40 to 50 with the performance. But look, it looks great. Let's go. Open the door. Okay, move between cover points to safely maneuver through the course and past the turret. Okay, so I was trying to kill the turret before, so that's not happening. You see these reflections? I'm telling you, the shadows rather. The shadows right here, they would look so sparkly and shimmery, flickery on DLSS 4.5. Guys, I'm telling you, just if you're at 4K and you have good pixel density, just use preset K. Just use 4.0. Look at the barbed wire here. Super crispy on performance. No complaints at all. Okay, so I can roll. So I gotta wait till the gear goes back. Okay, so I can kind of crawl like that. That's pretty good. Yeah, this is looking really, really good, guys. This reflection, let's see, still looking really good. Yep, this reflection still looking really crispy. Yeah, just look at that textured, beautiful image right here. This looks wonderful. That is really, really good. And you know, in motion, it looks really good. It doesn't break apart. Honestly, I'm still in love. I'm not gonna say that, but I'm still in high favor of DLSS performance. Okay, boot camp complete, and we're gonna go back to the main menu. So we're going to, I guess, take a look at the benchmark. And the benchmark has its own statistics. But we're just going to look at it and check it out. So we're on performance still. We haven't changed anything. Okay, so let's take a look at what we got here. So let's see, VRAM usage 7.4 gigs. That's not bad. Memory usage on the system was 15.5. Max was 19. So it's not too bad. That's pretty average. And yep, Ludicrous everything, max FPS and CPU frame rate. So I was GPU bound 39.1% of the time, so that's good. It was not CPU bottleneck. CPU frame rate was 279 frames per second. So wow. The game rendering was 121. So wow, that's about as much as you can get on the 9800 X3D. I guess when things get really heavy. So I mean that's not bad to see. Yeah, this is a really heavy game, so we're gonna come out of that, and what I'm gonna do is take it down to the ultra setting. I'm gonna go back into boot camp so we can see what that looks like. I want to give you guys a more thorough video. Okay, so we're back on performance, and I'm gonna put it back up to quality. All right, so quality, we're at the 50s, which honestly is not terrible. 55, 60 frames per second, I can get away with if I just put on frame generation and put it to X3. I can hit my 160 hertz monitor. As long as I don't have that much latency, I can get away with that. Usually it's like high 30s, 40 milliseconds. That's what it comes out to on Black Myth Wukong. But anyway, like I said, let's check out our other settings. So we are going to take it from Ludicrous down to Ultra. So basically, Ludicrous is like cinematic, and there are other games that can make the 5090 go down to the 30s. I mean, you got Cyberpunk with path tracing. You got Black Myth Wukong once you have cinematic and path tracing, or full ray tracing, which is path tracing. You even have Crimson Desert when you put the lighting quality to max and use ray reconstruction. That will also get you about 30 frames per second on a 5090. So there are games out there, and then there's also Avatar Frontiers of Pandora with the unobtainium settings. There are games out there that will absolutely stress the GPU to Kingdom Come, but you don't need to run at those settings. Those are just kind of for like screenshots and things. So let's put our FPS back on, and so now we're getting 60 frames per second with quality. So that's really just 10%. Wait a minute, that's too convenient. Hold on, I bet you that frame rate cap went right back, didn't it? You're always doing it. I don't know why. You're always doing it. All right, so ultra everything. All right, so now okay, wow, that's 100 frames per second. So let's just take a look at this thing here. I'm gonna take a screenshot from my own self, and then I'm gonna slide it back over to Ludicrous. I didn't notice that Ludicrous really cranks up the lighting, so I think that's what the highest demand for performance is. Actually, let's put it to native just so we can get a baseline. All right, so native is 70 frames per second, and this is definitely acceptable. 70 frames per second is what you should see on a 5090 in an UE5 game. I have no issues with the image quality right now. Everything looks really good. So we're gonna just take a look at the barracks here, and I'm gonna put it to Ludicrous again. All right, and then I don't know why that's so annoying. Ludicrous. Okay, wait till the textures load up, because as you can see, it's still muddy. Come on, textures. Talking about you, barracks. I know you can get sharper than that. Okay, so yeah, really the lighting just looks a whole lot sharper. Yeah, so I guess it's kind of like a semi-path tracing mode, which is why the performance tanks so hard. But besides that, it's just really hard to tell the difference. So what I'm gonna see, what we can do here is if I go to custom, And I'm going to set Ludicrous. Let's get this out of the way. Ludicrous on textures. Definitely want textures. Ludicrous effects. I'll set that to ultra. Geometry. Ludicrous post-processing. Controls the quality of bloom, tone mapping, and anti-aliasing. Okay. Motion blur. Oh, so yeah, it was using motion blur. Depth of field. That's fine. Global illumination. So that's like the cinematic version on Black Myth Wukong. Reflections. I always turn the reflections down to ultra or even high, because in real life reflections, they look a little noisy because water is always moving. VFog. Yeah, you can put that down to ultra. Sunlight, shadows, all the lighting stuff, I'll leave that at ludicrous. Subsurface scattering, animation quality, definitely want that to be ludicrous. Where are shadows? Ray tracing, geometry, just the fidelity of geometry, ray tracing, global illumination, reflections, and GPU physics. Where's shadows? I don't see shadows. Did I? Okay, reflections. It must be under ray tracing geometry, but oh, here we go, ray trace shadows. So we'll put that at ultra, because shadows is another thing that in real life it's not as sharp as it is in games. So you can honestly get away with high. It's not even making a difference on my screen here. So anyways, that might be broken. So we'll put that to ultra. All right, so let's get our performance back up here again. So that gave us 10%. So yeah, it's kind of what I thought. It's the lighting that's really just kicking everything into overdrive. So this is about what I get on Cyberpunk 2077 when I put the path tracing mode on. So that's fine. It's the lighting that's tanking the performance. All right, going back to graphics here. Let me see if I can confirm that. Let's put global illumination to ultra and ray tracing geometry to ultra. Everything else is going to be set to ludicrous. Ray trace shadows, we're going to put that on ultra as well, and volumetric fog ultra. Okay. All right, so now, yep, see, that was it. Boom, 60 frames a second. So turning down the cinematic lighting just one step is what's going to basically double your performance. And I can't really tell too much of a difference. Maybe you, yeah, it's just the lighting was a little sharper. It was, you can definitely tell, but we're talking about like diminishing return level sharpness. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This one looks like a fun game to get into. I can't wait until it releases. I think it's going to release in October. But even if you do run a 5090 or even a 4090, you should be able to get away with like frame generation, and even in the 5080 as well. You should be able to get away with like max settings with some frame gen, but you might not be able to do that if you're doing multiplayer PvP, because then again you're going to have to deal with, you know, your, as a matter of fact, let me actually put that up to see if that's registering. And it's not, so I don't know why. There we go. Okay. Ooh, look at the latency, 80 milliseconds. That's because the reflex is not working. So you really can't get better than that. I wasn't honestly even noticing that it was this high. That's actually pretty interesting. But I mean, the controls are pretty heavy as well. So yeah, latency is 70 milliseconds. The reflex is definitely not enabled in this game, at least not right now. But yeah, this looks great, man. The game looks really good, and I think that's gonna be it for me. So you guys take care, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace out.